you can run functions when an event occurs with Ultralytics as well. So that's basically just callback functions. It could be when you're running inference, could be training, that every single epoch you want to do some custom code, integrate your own functions into it, then it can call a custom callback function every time some event happens. So this is what we're going to talk about in this video here, but also take a look at some pretty cool examples that you can use to integrate your own code into the existing training loops, inference, and so on. Right now, let's just jump straight into the Ultralytics documentation. If you go inside our documentation tab, we can see that inside our quick start, we have our callback function. So this is a very basic functionality, but it's very important to know of if you want to do some customizations. Could be that you want to do some other visualizations, benchmarking, pull the information in different steps, but also just add custom code to it. So if you go scroll a bit further down, we can see we have an example here. All it is just a callback function, a function that gets called automatically when an event occurs. So we have all custom callback functions for trainers can be integrated into, validator, predictor, and exporter. So this is pretty much just all the tasks or all the modes that you can set up with Ultralytics, and we have different triggers for that. The first one here is just returning additional information with the prediction step. So on predict batch n, we take our image or a batch of images, throw it through a model, we get a prediction, and then we basically get our results. But here we can go in and add a custom callback function. So when we create an instance of our YOLO model, we're going to see some real examples in our code in a bit, but we need to understand what is a callback function, what is the structure of it, and what do we actually have available directly that we can use. So create an instance of our model in the exact same way as we used to. Then we can add a callback. So on prediction batch end, this is the event that we're specifying, and this is the function that we want to run when we are done doing our prediction step. So here we just take our predictor, we take our batch, so we grab images, and then we just ensure that the image is a list, and then we can combine the prediction results with the corresponding frames. So right now, when a prediction occurs, we act like only get the prediction results, so bounding boxes, confidence scores, and all that, but now we can zip it together with the images as well. So this could be one custom callback function, and then we can iterate through both the results, but also the frames, do visualizations on top on and so on as well. So that's pretty awesome. This is actually like a pretty good use case. Of course, you could just have the image and grab it later on, so you only iterate over the predictions, but could be examples, scenarios where you could really use this for something useful. So these are all the different callback functions, both for the trainer, validator, and so on. So let's say on start train, maybe you want to send an email once your training is done, or every single epoch and so on. It could be that you want to log your results to some custom functions or code bases, frameworks, and so on as well. Could be that you want to add visualizations, but it's a pretty cool one to basically just when it's done training, it will send you an email notification. Could be that you're running in GPU, free GPU resource and Google Colab. You just get an email once it's done running or training. So that's a pretty cool one for the trainer, but you can do like on parameter update, on epoch end, batch size, and so on. So you can log your metrics. You can even like have your high parameters. You can have multiple steps. You can see you can even like do our optimization step if you want to add custom code. So validator, callbacks. So this is just when we run the validation step after our training step. We have our predictor. This is one of the examples we just ran through. We have the export as well. So once we start an export and export end, could be, okay, now I have been going through the whole process. Now my export is ended. The whole computer vision pipeline is ended. I'm now ready to grab my file and use it in my own applications and projects. So let's now jump into code and take a look at how we can actually like use some of this functionality. So the first one is prediction callback. So what are we doing here? Let me just uncomment it. There we go. Let's get rid of all this. So we just want to callback logs, model predict started, predicting results. So we're basically just going to predict it. This is pretty trivial. So this is on predict post process end. So after we have done the post processing of our inference results. So right now we just predict it, and we're going to add the callback function. Nothing else is happening here, but we expect our callback function to print out the results. So let's just run it. I'll save the script. Python, spin it up here. If you get any problems, make sure that you upgrade the pip package. There we go. Python callback ultralytics.py. We download the model, first of all, it will do that automatically. We download the image, you can also throw in your own custom data, and now we can see that it acts like printed our results after the post-processing. There we go. So this is one example that we can use it for. Get rid of that, or basically just comment it out. Training callback, so it could be that we want to start a training. This is just like a very trivial example, but this is just to give you guys an idea of how it works. But right now we just print our epochs, the batch size, and also the device that we're running on when we start our training. Most cool one, I think, is pretty much just training end, send an email notification or something else. That could be a very cool use case. If you do that, definitely let us know down in the comment section. So just hit our train start. We're basically just gonna print this out. We can also do a validation check. You can do the exact same thing here for our callback. So once we export it, this is probably a bit more complex. The other ones are pretty trivial. So let's just grab this one, comment this out again. Command / export callback. So we want to export our model as Torch script. Let's try to rerun the program. There we go. Export arguments. Let's just clear. We need to save our file. Python Ultralytics callback. We start the export. There we go. Export complete. Results saved to my directory. Predict, validate, and visualize. And if you scroll a bit further up, we can see we have our export started. This is the line here. We have export arguments. So these are all the export arguments, which is really important. If you do like TensRT and so on, you might run into a lot of problems. But this is how you can integrate custom Python functions into event triggers. So when something occurs, we run some code, we can do customizations and integrate it into the Ultralytics framework. Pretty cool. Definitely go and check it out. It could be really helpful in a lot of situations.